Hello there, this is the Shadow Ranger back to pose a question to the YouTube wrestling community. Jim Cornette has said many times, and he said that he wasn't the first one to say this, but it said that in wrestling you can redo a good angle every 10 years, or maybe it was every 12 years, every 10 or 12 years. I was thinking about angles that I watched growing up that haven't been recreated recently that I wouldn't mind seeing coming back, and there's one that sticks out to me that I want to talk about in this video. First, I want to pose a question to you. Are there angles that you recall from years ago that you'd like to see be redone? And I know it's kind of treading on thin water because a lot of people aren't into things being redone, because if you do something that seems too much like something from the past, everybody bashes you for rehashing things. So is there an angle or a gimmick or some type of feud that you would like to see redone with new people that you would look at and say, well, even though I've seen this something like this before, I still like it, I'm not gonna trash this? Is there an angle like that for you? And I want to talk about one for me and how I'd like to see it done and who I'd like it to be involved with. I'd like to see a new version of a faction from the mid to late 90s that I liked, and I liked the feud that they were in, and I'd like to see it redone. And that faction is the Nation of Domination. There was a group that I was really into. I liked watching the Nation of Domination versus Ahmed Johnson feud when I was younger. I always thought that feud ended too soon. And I was thinking, I'd like to see something kind of like that brought back. I think that sort of black militant group type thing could get more heat today than it did in the past. Because you got a black president and you could have him talk smack about him. Take a second, and I want you to imagine like Farouk, somebody doing like sort of that Farouk Nation of Domination gimmick, talking, doing that angry black militant type thing, talking about how the black man has been mistreated, the black man has been held down, and let me get into character here. The black man has been held down in this country for way too long, and we will not stand for it anymore. You took us from our homeland. You made us our slaves, and now you try to disenfranchise us and oppress us and hold us down at every moment that you can. It's 200 years of oppression, kind of like that. I'm not as good. I'm not in character mood right now. Now imagine somebody jumps up, like if you hear someone talking about like black oppression and racism and how there's a glass ceiling and black people are kept out of the highest jobs, the most prestigious positions. If you did that today, obviously the first thing people are going to bring up is Barack Obama. Hey, black president. So I think that group get even more heat by insulting Barack Obama. Kind of like, let me get back into character for a second. Oh, you want to throw Barack Obama in my face? That's your president. They ain't my president. I didn't vote for Uncle Tom Obama. Oh, that's not a black man. That's a white man that you dipped in chocolate. That's all he is. He's a sellout white boy that you dipped in chocolate, and you gonna pull him up and throw him in my face? That's supposed to make up for 400 years of slavery and oppression and disenfranchisement. Get the hell out of my face with that bull. Again, imagine Farouk doing this. It would sound a lot better coming from him than it is from me. I'm not a professional. You find yourself some big tough black wrestlers. I don't know who's out there on the indie scene right now. There's a couple of people that I've come across, but I don't know a whole lot about. One group, I haven't really seen much of them wrestle, but I've seen pictures of them and they look pretty mean and tough looking. This group called Dark City Fight Club. I'll try to find a picture and put it up here for you. Anybody else know any mean looking black wrestlers that would fit this sort of group that you can think of? Let me know. Now, where I'd like to see this group done is in TNA. Now TNA doing this, I understand they want to risk because everybody wants to jump up and say, "Oh, they're rehashing old angles, rehashing old angles." This is what I think you could get something good out of, so I would risk this scrutiny. If the angle's done well enough, people aren't going to complain. The person that I want to be the babyface in this feud, who feuds with this new group, would be Jay Lethal. And the reason I picked Jay Lethal is several reasons. One, most of the time when you have black guys in wrestling, companies tend to put them in a black stereotype type of gimmick, especially WWE. You know, every black guy in WWE has some kind of black stereotype. You know, Booker T taught jive, and The Rock and MVP were both trying to be flashy ballers, and of course The Rock's only half black. You know, Crime Time got to play the thugs, and you know, you got R-Truth coming out and rapping, and they tried to turn Shelton Benjamin to that sort of, you know, baller. You know, they started having him come out wearing shades and gold chains and stuff. Like, his own natural athletic ability and good wrestling wasn't enough. They had to give him some kind of cheesy, well, the word I always use when I talk about stuff like this is nigga stereotype, and that's what they did with him too. You could argue that Pope kind of has something similar to that, but usually when the few black wrestlers that TNA has had, they don't really put them in those nigga stereotype roles. And I've heard some people say that Jay Lethal kind of acts kind of white, so I would have that be the point of contention with this new Nation of Domination type group. They feel that they call Jay Lethal a sellout. He's a white boy dipped in chocolate, and they sort of attack him based on that. And Jay is more of the, I'm just being myself. I don't have to fit your definition of what black is, and they try to attack him forward, and he sort of fights this group for a while. I think it would do good at getting Jay Lethal over. You could help build up a few more black wrestlers, because you don't see a whole lot of black stars in wrestling anymore. You could always take two of the guys and make them a tag team and strengthen the tag team division. And the feud doesn't need a belt involved. It's something that Jay Lethal could do that will help build his status up. See how he does. It will give TNA a chance to see how he worked in a long-term feud and long-term storyline. If you ever wanted to turn Jay Lethal heel, you just have him join the group. And just genuinely, I think it would be a genuinely interesting storyline. I don't have all the details worked out of how it's exactly going to go and how many people would be in the new faction and who the leader would be. For a minute, I was thinking the leader being a manager, a mouthpiece, but I couldn't think of anybody that would fit the bill, like a black guy that would fit the bill to do it. The only guy who kind of came to mind that I thought might be able to pull off the gimmick and cut the promos you needed was New Jack, but New Jack's kind of nuts, and I'm not sure you can trust him. That motherfucker's crazy. So anyway, I'm like 9 minutes in. I'm starting to ramble. So quick, just your thoughts on this little idea I came up with. I haven't worked all the kinks out, but I like some feedback. Also, any storylines or angles from the past that you like to see redone. Leave your thoughts in the comments section. This is the Shadow Ranger. Thank you for listening. Have a nice day.